Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have some new review, and for this review, this is an iPhone 6s. And how's it hold up after 8 years in 2023? Let's find out. So just some history, I bought an iPhone 6s in 2023 because I want to have an iPhone for taking photos and having a secondary iPhone because I have an Android phone. So after some years having an Android phone, I just think that I should get an older iPhone using my savings. So by my budget, I bought an iPhone 6s 64 gig. Actually, I got this phone in this condition, so I have to replace the screen. But when adding that to the overall that I've spent with this iPhone, it was a good deal. So after 2 months using this iPhone, this is my review and conclusion using this iPhone in 2023. Let's go. So let's go to its design. It carries the same iconic design from its successor, the iPhone 6, which has the infamous issue, bendgate. So by the next generation, Apple uses a much stronger 7000 series aluminum, and they made this phone a little bit thicker to prevent it bending too easily. But it's still very thin compared to the latest phones today. You can actually see the design of this iPhone because it has a skin on it, but originally this is the gold color, but it has many scratches and dents, so I bought a skin. There are other colors, space gray, silver, gold, which I have, and the new color, rose gold. This is a small phone by today's standard, but I love it even though I have a big hand. And it has a headphone jack. So let's go to its display. This has a 4.7-inch Retina IPS LCD display that has a 500 nits brightness and the underrated 3D touch. This is the first iPhone to have a 3D touch, and I think 3D touch is underrated because many people were not using it, so Apple just ditched it. But I really do miss the 3D touch because it makes the iPhone way quicker to do shortcuts and some features. Apple replaced it with haptic touch and I hate it. It was slower because you just hold pressing it compared to putting some pressure on the screen. Going back to the main topic, the display. This is also small by today's standards when phones having larger screen, but this is still usable and cute. It's a one-handed device. The only problem that I've encountered is the brightness. This is only 500 nits, so when using it outdoors and sunny, it's hard to see on the screen. This is not as level as some Android flagship at that time, like the Samsung Galaxy Note 5, which has a Super AMOLED screen with much brighter 861 nits. But other than that, I'm alright with the screen. And it's also cheap when you replace the screen, like let's say $20 compared to $300 and up with some iPhone screens today. So let's go to its performance. This iPhone runs with an Apple A9 chip and 2GB of RAM. This was the big upgrade from the iPhone 6, which has a A8 and 1GB of RAM. This is the speed from the S branding on iPhones like the 6s. At that time, this iPhone was the fastest phone, but today it shows its age. Remember, this is an 8-year-old phone. So when navigating and using the internet, it's okay, but sometimes it can be laggy to load apps, pages, etc. So you need to be patient using this iPhone. I tried playing heavy games on this iPhone like Call of Duty Mobile, and yeah. You can play but still encounter a lot of lags and frame drops. The biggest lag I've encountered was playing Battle Royale, and it was unplayable, and turning on voice chat makes the app crash. So you can play some light games on this iPhone without encountering many frame drops. On the software, this is running the latest version it can run, iOS 15.7.5, which is discontinued last year with the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus, which is impressive for a 7-year-old phone last year. So this has the latest feature that iOS 15 offers, and it still supports the latest favorite apps. I can still interact this with my MacBook and AirPods flawlessly. So let's go to its battery, which is the biggest meme of the iPhone. It has a 1750 mAh battery that can charge with a 5W Apple charger. So the battery drains faster but charged with a slower charging. Great. This has the original battery that it came with, and it has a 86% battery health. So by that, it lasts 3 to 4 hours on continuous usage and charging 3 to 4 times depending on my usage. Luckily, I can still charge this a little bit faster using a higher wattage charger, even though this doesn't support fast charging. So when buying an older iPhone, please I recommend to replace its original battery because it can have a lower battery health or a service indicator. So let's go to its camera. It has only one camera on the back. It's a 12 megapixel f2.2 aperture that supports up to 4K at 30 fps. And on the front is a 5 megapixel 720p f2.2 aperture selfie camera. Even though this is an 8-year-old iPhone, I'm still impressed with the camera performance. I'm only taking pictures with this iPhone ever since I bought it because this is much better than my main phone. Then adding some editing magic is even better. I'm gonna show you some photos that I've taken with this iPhone. The thing I love about iPhone image processing was it looks natural and detailed. Even though it's an 8-year-old iPhone, it's not the best when compared to iPhones today, but it does its job done. Even the highlights and shadows are good. But when it gets darker, this is where this iPhone lacks. This doesn't have night mode, so the images look more noisy. The selfie on the other hand is not that great today because it only supports 720p, and the images look more noisy and wash out mostly indoors. So you're gonna need some lighting or you're gonna look like this. The back video on the other hand, I'm impressed that it supports up to 4K. And so what do you think? Also remember that it doesn't support OIS, so it can be shaky when taking videos. So to its features. Again, it has 3D touch, live photos. This is the first iPhone to have live photos. And home button with Touch ID. Back when this iPhone released, Touch ID was quick, but now it's slower and showing its age. It's much slower with my sweaty hands, so sometimes it doesn't register my fingerprint, so I have to type the passcode. Touch ID was quick. So conclusion, should you get this iPhone 6s in 2023? For me is maybe. This phone is still usable today, but it's already showing its age and doesn't support iOS 17 or 16. Also, it's slowing down and laggy sometimes, but if you're the guy who wants a secondary iPhone just for basic tasks and doesn't care about slower processing, this iPhone 6s is alright for you. You can still browse the internet, social media, can make calls and messages, and take good photos. Just don't play heavy games on this iPhone. I suggest that you should get an iPhone 8, 8 Plus or 10 than this, or if you have a budget, iPhone 7 and 7 Plus is okay. Also remember, always choose a high storage variant like 64GB and higher because it was a nightmare having a 16GB or 32GB these days because you can already fill them up just by downloading apps and also replace its original battery. So this is my conclusion for this iPhone 6s. This phone was great for me and I love it. This was the best money spent decision I ever made with my money. I still enjoyed using this phone more than my main phone. So this is my iPhone 6s review in 2023. Make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell to know when I post a video. Also like this video when you like this review of this iPhone. So goodbye and see you at my next video. Goodbye and spoilers!